Hello again, Russell Bennett's Motorcycles here. I thought that with my visit to the MV Agusta factory in December, it was time to go again and get another update and find out what was going on. So first, I'd just like to thank everyone who sent us some nice comments and messages regarding my last video, being so open and in the loop like I am with what's going on. So first, I'd like to thank you guys for your comments, and I will try and keep you posted on my second visit. So obviously with D-Day approaching for KTM, the 25th of February, that is when the courts finally decide on the restructuring process. I thought it was time for me to go across and find out exactly how far along we are with the divorce. So last Friday I went to Varese. I was invited across to Varese to go and have a sit down with a couple of very high people in the company, including Luca Martin, who is now in charge of the operations over there. And it was quite interesting. As I said before in the previous video, it's a very eerie place to go to right now. There was still no staff there. There was still very limited sort of people in different areas in the skeleton staff. So nothing really has changed that much there. One noticeable thing just walking into the factory gates and walking by the main production lines was that I noticed that one of the production lines had disappeared. And I asked the questions, what's going on, and literally it does appear that one of the production lines, they've got two production lines there. The old production line, which will produce the 3-cylinder motorcycles, has been taken out. So that is just a complete new warehouse now. And the new production line, which was built quite recently, within the last 18 months, is there, and that's actually been updated. So there's been investment gone into that. The method in the madness is that they don't actually need two production lines anymore. The new production line is capable of building the 3- and 4-cylinder configurations of motorcycles. So why do they need two? So whilst I was at the factory, one thing that I did see, actually, looking round, is, as I said earlier on, one of the production lines has gone, but in that area they've got like a distribution side, it looks like, that they're trying to set up. So maybe looking at cutting costs. Why do they need to go elsewhere when they can bring it in-house and they've got room and space to do it? Makes sense. But the investment side of it, the new machinery that was in the factory was mind-blowing. A lot of state-of-the-art body shop paint materials, new paint booths, warehousing. So bespoke things can happen. So you order a Brutale 800 Enduro Veloce, you want your name painted on the side of the bike and so on. Yeah, they can do this kind of thing. That's the things of making it special and unique moving forward. And again, from an investment point of view, the Sario family are already investing with a €4 million machine for cleaning the engines. And I'm not talking about sort of a guy stood outside with a power washer just washing an engine down here. I'm talking about a multi-million euro machine for actually, when the engines come off the production line, they go through they go through the engine testing bay first, which has been shown before on some YouTube videos, and then they come into the engine washing department where the engines are washed, and then the water, the liquids from the engines, are actually analysed and tested to like any materials, so rubber, alloy, steel, anything that is in there in you know, minuscule areas, then they can analyse it. So the investment is going in, so you can see that they're spending money in the factory to update things ready to go again, which you know, is great. It's great to see. So they've cleared space out there and converted that area into warehousing, funnily enough, which was taking motorcycles and parts back from Austria as I was there. So you can see things are happening there. So anyway, the meeting, talking to people, finding out what's going on, because me, as someone who's dedicated to MV Agusta and our dealership and our customers, I want to know what's happening, because we need to be able to have the tools to deliver what I think we should be able to deliver as a deal. So finding out where they are right now was important, and where they're going with it, because it was quite clear that as predicted in the last video, that the Russian ownership was going to come back. So we were going to get the Russian ownership, and the divorce was starting to happen. So you can see that the Russians are obviously have got their own ideas, but they're letting the younger MV Agusta team take it on board and develop and do something with that. What they're planning on doing is all held up because the situation, as we all know, it's been documented. There has been some quite good media posts actually from the German side, that the warehousing side and the distribution side, which was all moved from Italy to Austria, has all been ceased. It's basically stopped. It's all been it's had basically a clampdown on it, and they can't move anything. So until after the 25th of this month, that's when MV Agusta sort of start actioning their plans and saying, hey guys, what you've got in those warehouses doesn't really belong to PR Mobility anymore. We need to come and get it all back, and we're moving it all back to Italy. So when people are shouting at us down the phone and saying, oh, why can I not get parts, why can I not get answers for any warranties or things like that, that is the reason. Basically, you know, as put it out in the German press and German media there, that the KTM have not paid their warehousing bills. So the people that they're subcontracting to have basically said, we're closing the doors and you're not coming here until we get paid. So the knock-on effect is obviously affected us with MV Agusta. So it's bad. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. As I say, the agreement to leave has been accepted. So as soon as things can start moving again, then we will start going live and start being able to get parts for you guys, for us to continue in a business, and for other people out there. As for what they're going to start producing and what's going to happen, as I said in the previous video, I don't think there's going to be much production in motorcycles in 2025. I think the production is just going to be the range of model year for the anniversary models. We obviously have got the new tricked up F3 coming out, which is going to be a special edition built to order motorcycle. But as the motorcycles that they have, which I think I said before, maybe 2,000, 3,000 motorcycles, they will get filtered out through the world, the global network. What happens with pricing and restructuring of things, because I'm concerned over it, and I'm sure you guys are from a marketplace point of view. We've seen the MV Agusta marketplace and Glasses Guide values and market values just take a real kick. There's no consumer confidence out there, of course, but we need to get that back. That will come back, guaranteed. It will come back. The brand is going to come out of this hole, and it will come back, and it will come back quite strongly and quickly as well. I do genuinely think it will come back quickly. So we will see MV Agusta sales and confidence start to pick up again. Think that the new development in what they're wanting to do in the restructuring does work, because it is a consolidation period where they are looking at where they are right now. I'm stood at the side of one of these beautiful enduro velocis, which, as I said before in the other video, they're great bikes, people need to ride them. It's the new concept, it will get relaunched. There'll be you know, the Competizione will be coming out, that will get a launch. The bikes that will be coming the 80th anniversary, they will get a new launch. So there is things going to be happening, but it's all going to be much smaller scale, more dealer based, helping to support the dealers, and yeah, that's the positive side of it, to come through this consolidation period that they're going to have. There is talk, or there was talk I should say, because I was there, of the new dealers. They want new dealers involved in the UK. I said that we need more dealers in the UK in different areas, and there will be new dealers come on board who are interested in the brand and want to support the brand and the customers out there. So that will be something that you will see, I will see as it grows along. The service centre side of it, if we can't facilitate new dealers, then I think MV also does need to look, and we will do. And when I say we, I will work with them in helping set service centres up around the UK that cover areas so people can get their bikes looked after and they can get the parts and so on. So there's a lot of positives. Yes, we're still in the negative side of things. The negatives, you know, I try not to think about the negatives, and while the KTM side of it, I'm very sad to hear and sorry that there'll be a lot of people, you know, that will be out of work from the KTM side of things. And I do genuinely feel that on the 25th it is a real 50-50, and that's my opinion, of whether KTM will go bankrupt or they will find a plan, because it's a mess, but we are in a much better position than they are, and we will come out of it much stronger. So I do hope you'd like the updates. I will try and get some more as we're going along, and the restructuring, and when we do get, after the 25th, when we do get our parts system back online and we do get things, you guys will be the first to know. It'll be out there in social media, it'll be on the websites, and we should start getting some kind of information back from the factory. So I'll keep you posted. This time, if you do like the video, like, subscribe, and there'll be more things coming along throughout the year. Maybe some technical updates, some little tips and tricks that we need to do. We'll take you in the workshop here at Bennett's Motorcycles and show you a few little things. So watch this space.